Couch Co-op! Welcome to the Couch Co-op podcast, the greatest gaming podcast in the universe, and all the other universes as well. I'm your host,
the multiverse,
Dave, standing in for the Mr. Milkman, who has decided to leave us. He just couldn't take Tony Death. It was too much. He's quit. He's gone. We'll never see him again. We might see him next week, but
yeah, probably.
With me tonight, I have Jared, Nick, JPK, and Aaron.
What up?
Almost a 6-pack, a 5-pack, and well, guys, how's everyone feeling tonight?
5-pack at the store.
Good.
Yeah,
it's been a pretty good day overall.
Good.
Right.
Should we?
How are you, Dave?
I'm good. Should we not milk this like Ian does and make us all wait for the beer, and we'll just get straight to the beer because I'm sure we're all thirsty. I know I'm always thirsty.
Well, not only that, he's the milkman, so he's the one that gets to milk it. So
I agree, but before we do that, I agree with that. But before we do that, I think we need to mention that we're also on YouTube, Twitch, and all the other podcast formats.
Oh yeah,
just find us on Milkman, Spotify, of course, on the Couch Co-op Show, all one word, no hyphen.
Nice, thank you, Aaron. That's what we needed.
Well, also we need this tasty beer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a mobile minute.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
darn it!
A mobile minute.
Well, there might be a trick up the sleeve before I head out.
So who chose this particular?
I did.
Oh.
It was me.
Yes, it was you.
And I want to pour it. Yeah.
Okay. Pouring it.
Let's
we got a
pop
pour
some caps
cam
here. Yeah. Why not? Let's do a pour cam.
Look at Jared.
It's gonna be a pour.
The multicam setup, so you can see his delicious beverage getting poured into.
That's
glass.
I'm liking this. Is pretty cool. Good camera work.
Yeah. Yes.
I need to work on the lighting in the background, but
and you need to work on your pouring there, Mr. Head.
Hey, I couldn't tilt the
Would you like
glass.
some beer in
There's
that
too
head?
much stuff over there.
Oh, he got more head than I did.
Like a special stand.
That's some stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. I get a stand that tilts the glass for me.
So while we're enjoying this tasty beverage, I thought Nick suggested topics which seem totally appropriate as I'm the host, which are all Nintendo and Zelda
Ian's
based,
not here.
which are my favorite topics in the known universe. So I think we were just going to start about with the new Zelda game that's coming out, and if you guys are going to buy it or what you're looking forward to and what you're hoping they fix from the last one. I heard breakable weapons were a real.
Oh yeah,
I think,
of course. That's the
Well,
first thing that needs fixed.
Who has played Breath of the Wild?
Me.
I have.
So 3 of us: John,
Okay.
Aaron, and I.
Yeah, I wish they would do away with the whole breakable weapon thing, because that was one of the biggest turnoffs for me for that game. I get it. You want to make it more realistic. Weapons do break in real life, but it's like we're not in real life. We're in Hyrule, people.
I mean, how hard is Link really hitting these creatures to break metal over them?
Right.
Maybe it's
chops
already
the tree
brittle.
down in 3 strokes.
I was going to say maybe it's already brittle from all the jars that he broke.
Yeah,
Right.
That's true.
So here's my thing about that. I get the wooden branch breaking. I get wood weapons breaking, wooden sword break, wood branch break, but not a metal sword or an axe or a hammer or whatever. Those shouldn't break so easily,
Maybe
or
they're in
all
the
for
Bronze
matter.
Age.
Maybe, I guess.
Are you guys all jazzed up for the new one? Do you think are any of you going to buy it on release day? Have you seen any news that's pushed over the edge? Or
Not on release day.
did Breath of the Wild kind of kill that franchise for you, or not kill it, but kind of put you off a bit, or?
It didn't kill it for me, but it discouraged me for future renditions. If they really like this breakable weapon thing. It sounds like they're going to add a lot more real dungeons and stuff like that, is what people, or at least that's what people are hoping for. Because there was only 3 or 4 real dungeons in the game, whereas most Legend of Zelda games in history have had 8 or more. You know, it's
And they were fun.
It had all the little
too.
trial rooms and stuff like that, but that's not a dungeon. That's just like a test of your mind, using the skill set that you've been given, kind of a room.
Right.
Yeah, are you excited to see the first real Zelda that was developed for the Switch as opposed to Breath of the Wild, which was developed for the Wii U and the Switch? So probably had a few limits. Kind of like God of War, Ragnarok has some interesting choices because it's supporting older hardware as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because, I mean, it is a beautiful game. It ran really well in when it first came out forever ago now at this point. And the hardware has not gotten any more powerful. It has a brighter, more pretty screen if you bought that edition, the OLED screen.
The OLED one.
The hardware is still just an old cell phone chip, you know? So I don't know. And they're charging $70 for this thing. And what happened back in the Super Nintendo days is those cartridges got more expensive as they started embedding other technology on the chips.
Yeah, they have.
So I wonder if they've found some way to enhance their chips or something like that to
They
make
also
them
got more expensive
better.
because memory.
So you think this new Zelda's?
Sorry, go on, Nick.
Oh, I was going to ask if they're going to put the FX chip in this game.
Yeah, let's bring the FX chip back.
All right.
Yeah.
Texture mappings for weenies. We just need polygons.
Yeah, let's get those Pokemons to stretch as far as they can go.
So pretty much.
So Jared,
none of you guys are going to.
You think? Oh, go. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Sorry, JPK. You were saying.
So Jared, you think them charging $70, you take it as more, you're hoping it's more because they're instituting more better software, or because I think it's just a cash grab because the newer consoles are doing it.
I mean, of course, everything seems like a cash grab, but in reality, that game could just be really big on that chip. So they had to make like the larger size memory card for the game, and it's just more, expensive to produce. It could just be something simple like that. But then it's funny in this digital age where you can buy the digital copy and that's not an issue, and the physical copy, and they both cost the same. So it's hard to even judge that. Like now that I'm thinking about that, like you can buy it digitally. So why would the chip on the cartridge even matter? In that case, you would be required to have a cartridge.
Yeah,
so
really,
it can't
is
be
just
that
a memory card.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know why they're charging more. It could just be because the card has to be bigger, and they just wanted it to be uniform, or it's a cash grab, or it cost them a hell of a lot of money to develop this thing. They put everybody on the game.
This
to
one's
produce
Tears
it.
of the Kingdom, isn't it? Is the name of the?
Yes, Tears of the Kingdom,
and it's due out in May, I believe. Oh, I think in March. I'm getting
I think that's the plan. It was supposed to be out in 2022, but
tentatively May.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's video games. It's a good chance it will be delayed again.
Although Nintendo's usually pretty good about their dates, especially if it's a summer date.
Right.
I just want to ask Jared, or maybe the rest of you, but just to kind of go back to the cost of the game. I mean, how much were Super Nintendo games back in the day?
I think I bought Chrono Trigger for $70.
Jesus,
at Walmart. That was at Walmart. Yeah, I bought games on Super Nintendo for $65, $70. I saw some for more than that. Yeah,
I had a game chair, buddy.
So
I remember that. Yeah, the games were very expensive.
Super Nintendo cartridges were expensive. Yes,
and then they came to CD, and CD became a lot. CD was when you got the. They were still pretty expensive when they first came out, but then you'd have the budget line that was like $20 or £20.
The best of, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, CDs were way cheaper to produce.
Mm-hmm. But generally, it's like the new release price point has always been around like $60, like for probably a good couple decades at this point.
I think it was.
The $60 price point took place in like PS3 360 era. Before that, it was $50.
$50 on the PS2, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And before that, in like Nintendo and cartridge ages, it was variable, it seemed. And like SNES especially got really crazy expensive on some of those cartridges.
Some of those older cartridges were just bigger. I mean, they just have more chips in them and more memory, so it costs more to make them.
Yeah,
they also had limited runs too.
I also want to say N64 was probably around there too.
Yeah. I don't recall the prices on that. I just remember being a kid going out and buying a game with my allowance and be like, "Holy crap!"
But it is interesting that.
I think the N64 was kind of notorious that because it was on a cartridge. What you were saying, Dave, it was just more expensive to put it on a cartridge than PlayStation. It was cheaper for them to put on a CD.
Yeah, you can burn CDs for pennies each, whereas like a cartridge has a physical cost of like dollars for the chips and stuff, if I remember correctly. But
I do think it's interesting that despite going through like since the 90s, that despite all the recessions and non-recessions, that prices actually stayed pretty consistent. Like even
I think it's a mixture of like it's the fact the market's grown so much, because you look at how much it costs to make a game nowadays compared to back then, and it's like, but now a game might have sold a few million copies back then can sell millions of copies, you know.
Yeah.
They sell a lot more than they used to, so it's kind of, that's why they've been able to keep the price down somewhat.
So that is kind of nice on some level, but it does. So I mean, it still doesn't not sting when you're. Did I just do a double negative? Anyway, still, I mean, $70 is still freaking $70, but.
Right. Yeah, I don't buy as many new games as I used to. I mean, now that
same.
Yeah, it takes me longer to go through a game because I have kids and a job and life to get through.
Oh yes, we know, Jared.
All that stuff.
What happens when you grow up?
God, you don't live at your parents' place. We get it.
I know, it sounds awesome.
No, I'm just talking about when we were playing with Jared on Back 4 Blood, and he just he had to just bail out of there as soon as possible.
Quick,
It's like
hit the eject button.
Well, yeah, because
see you guys. What?
Yep, all done, gone. Bye.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want his daughters to see that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 9 and 3, they don't need to see zombies getting their faces blown off. It's not
Why
what
not?
they
You've
need
got
to
to
see.
prep them for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
No, we have to prep Evelyn to prep my cookie order.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, she does have to go to Canby. It is kind of like the zombie apocalypse down there.
Yeah.
I think
it's not the greatest.
I'm sorry. Pulled the curtain back a little bit there, but
yeah.
Well,
Funny.
yeah, man. So,
Aaron, did you feel the same way about Breath of the Wild that Jared felt? I don't know if you heard that episode of the podcast where Ian and Jared were essentially just not impressed. If that's fair to say, Jared, if they weren't impressed by Breath of the Wild.
Honestly, I'm on their same page with it, just because it felt more of the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the whole open field thing, because I mean, we all love Borderlands, we all love Destiny and stuff like that. That is a similar setup, but the fact that they hyped it up way beyond belief. Like most people, like most gamers are like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest game ever because you do this and that." I'm like,
yeah,
guys,
because you can climb everywhere.
It's like, guys, you could do that in any other game out there. Why are you making this sound so groundbreaking for a Zelda, for a game? I mean, yes, Zelda didn't do this before, but it's like, you make it sound like no other game did it. Shut up, calm down. And second of all,
go ahead.
And second of all, the graphics for that Zelda game, they were good, but it was just when you see his predecessors like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the Twilight Princess, the Skyward Sword, and you see Breath of the Wild, it was very
that art style. I love its art style. I think it'll have more longevity than the other ones, because looking back at those N64 games, they look like butt. The best looking one to this day is Wind Waker. Still looks great because of its artistic style. And I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will stand tall for many, many years to come because of the style they chose for the art direction.
Right. No, I understand that. It's just the thing that gets me is the fact it's like it just felt so lackluster with those dungeons. Like I went into several of them and I'm just like,
Yeah.
really? At least with like I know that the Ocarina of Time, yeah, it's the graphics now look like butt compared to whatever ones now, but the dungeons were so unique. It felt like, and all the other dungeons I've ever encountered in a Zelda game, they were so different and challenging and fun and hard and easy all at the same time. Whereas that one was just like, oh, give me a fucking break. This is so blah to me. I
know that feeling with some games where it's like it just feels more like work. It's not like, oh, this is a new puzzle to kind of do.
Well, exactly. the main reason that is a problem in the game is because there's enemies in the dungeon, and that's one of the worst parts of the game. Is enemy encounters are not fun.
No, not in this one.
All the Legend of Zelda games up until then, I love clearing all the rooms. I love clearing, like, hey, cool enemy, I'm going to go chase him down and smack him down. And then Breath of the Wild comes out, and all these breakable weapons. The enemies are harder than they should be, and then you don't have a weapon, and they might drop one, but it'll break in 2 hits, and it's just not interesting. The battles got super boring. You bump into the boss, and you're like, oh, I don't have anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
How am I going to beat this boss? And it takes so long. It's just so annoying, and it ends up being a boring, long, drawn-out boss fight.
Exactly. Like, it's like, ugh, come on. Let me have that. That's where the whole breakable weapon thing is just pisses me off as well. It's like, yes, I get wooden weapons break. I get that. But if I have a metal weapon, give me some longevity with that weapon. Longer than like 4 whacks and it's done. Give me some fucking longevity.
Can you not repair them halfway through, or do you have limited
even
repair kits?
Yeah, well, even then, you have to work your ass off to get the Master Sword in this that game, and then you're like, finally, there's no way this weapon can deplete or break or anything, and it depletes, and I couldn't even figure out how to recharge the thing, and I just like, I'm just gonna go beat the game. Recharge. I don't want to do any. Yeah. Oh, you actually had to just sit there and wait.
You just had to wait.
So have they given any information as to whether they've got rid of that in the
No, there's no information on that yet, but I'm hoping for the best. I really
you
am.
Find it boring, Jared, I can only imagine how everyone else found it then, because you have a high tolerance for repetitive boredom in games.
I do.
I mean, you like
all those games have interesting enemy battles and stuff like that. Even like Demon Souls, your weapon depletes, but you can go through several runs before you have to even worry about repairing the thing. It's crazy.
What I mean is you have you enjoy the grind. That's like some of the games you enjoy are that kind of like,
I do, yeah.
That kind of
like I would have spent more time in that world had the weapons not been a big thing. Because after I got the Master Sword, I planned on going and doing other stuff, but then it started depleting and getting weaker, and it was about to expire, and I'm just like, screw that. I'm just gonna go beat the game, and I never played it again after I beat the game. I wanted to explore, but it took all the fun and everything out of it by depleting what should have been the best sword in the game.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Did you see any of the art book leaks that were online for this game?
I didn't.
They looks pretty decent. But
yeah, their art team is really good.
I'm so tired of the art books. With like when I saw that the art book leaked, I was just like, another art book. Like it seems like every 6 months they come out with a new art book for Zelda, and I'm just like, there's so many fucking hardcover, large format art books about the history and the just more of the story history of the actual game. But it's just like, really, like another one.
So you're not going to buy the amiibo.
Make that money, baby.
yeah, Nintendo needs that money bad.
Well, last time they released a Legend of Zelda amiibo, and it was for Skyward Sword, and it gave you access to go to the sky whenever you wanted to. And I guess I've never played the game, but it seems like that was like a big cheat, and it sped up the gameplay for people that could afford to and find that amiibo. And it was kind of a burn on people that didn't buy the amiibo. So we'll see what they do with this one.
At this point, who do you think the Legend of Zelda series is for? I mean, because I would have put you, Jared, as being pretty, like, a bit of a fanboy of the the for want of a better description.
Yeah, I love Legend of Zelda.
And if you're not really excited about it, who is?
So, I think originally I really got pissed off at the Legend of Zelda when Skyward Sword came out. I was really, really tight on money at that point, and you were required to have the new Wiimote technology,
Wiimote Plus,
and it was like an extra cost on top of it. And I already had troubles like even wanting to afford the game at that time, and then I'm just like, nope, I'm just not buying this game. No, so I've still never played Skyward Sword.
Was that like one of the only?
Yeah, where the sword is like whatever angle you have it at, and you swing it. It was a Wii game.
Well, I mean, was it the thing that you had to like plug into the bottom?
Yeah, the Wii Motion Plus.
And then they finally incorporated it. Do you need
but originally it came out to where they were including it, like one of them, in a box with the game. I don't know if it was free.
Yeah, I remember.
But by the time I could afford it, they were all sold out. And you couldn't get it. You had to have to buy like the $20 accessory or buy a brand new controller or something like that. I just wasn't having it.
I have a Wiimote Plus I can give you if you want.
Well, Skyward, it'd be cheaper just to it'd be cheaper just to play Skyward Sword on the Wii at this point.
Yeah, I can give you the remote.
Lucky for you, Jared.
Copy.
Jared. They may have Sword selling for $55. Nintendo's giving you a $5 break.
Yeah, no
or just wait for emulation to come up on the Switch.
Oh, there's already one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I just need a slightly more powerful computer probably to run a better, a cell phone game.
Right.
No, I was saying like emulation on the Switch. Like, like when we get to the Switch, I was gonna mention that they've actually just rolled out some Game Boy Advance emulation for it.
Oh yeah, so that's right.
Game Boy Advance games for.
Well, should we review this beer Switch then before we get on to the main topic, which is the Switch tonight? So
so I enjoyed that beer all the way through. It was it was very pleasant all the way through. It had good seasonings. But it wasn't overdone by any means, in my opinion.
It's very well balanced.
Yeah, when you said toasted, I was expecting a little more kind of toasty burnt flavor and not to like it, but it's actually quite mild.
Yeah.
I know.
It's really, really easy going. Leinenkugel toasted Bock.
That's quite tasty.
I like it, yeah.
I was rather surprised.
5.1% alcohol. It sounds about right for what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I could drink quite a lot of those. It's almost like an Oktoberfest kind of beer.
Yeah, it probably is the fall. I don't think it said anything. Let's see. A refreshing take on traditional Bock beer.
Bock beer, yes.
Oh, it's got good burp. So, so I can never remember. Do we give it a rating and then we ask Jared what game he pairs it with? I think that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. I'd want more.
I agree.
I'd give it a thumbs up too.
Send me more Bock in my life.
And John didn't have it. Yeah, they
not available.
Can't get it in Vegas at this point. So wow, that's 4 out of 4 chubs.
That's
pretty
impressive.
That's one whole chub.
Yeah, that is quite the chub.
That's really tasty.
Which would actually make it the world's best. Well, not the world's best beer, but it would make it one of the highest beers we've reviewed.
I think so. If Ian was on here, he might give it a sideways or a thumbs down. So
I was kind of on the line on sideways, so it's up. But I definitely think it's a thumbs up for me.
I could go through a 6-pack of this, no problem.
I could easily go through a 6-pack of these. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got flavor. It's not like totally flavorless and swill.
It has It has a little bit of a punch, but it's not like over the top. Like it doesn't linger. Like the flavor is, it's starting to dissipate already. And I just polish off a beer. It's like almost gone already for the flavor. And that's
the
that's kinda what
roastiness
you
doesn't,
want.
or the toastedness doesn't like hang out for too long.
Yeah, it doesn't linger.
So what game would you pair this with then, Jared?
So I'm going to go with the toasted part. In Mortal Kombat, he comes out and says, "Toasty."
Ugh.
So the
That's
original
right, I
Mortal
remember
Kombat.
I thought you were gonna go with "I am
Watercolor.
toast."
I am
no, wait,
toast. I am bread.
No, I am bread.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Man, good
The
choice.
quarter killer.
Good beer, good choice.
Yeah.
So are you
I'm
sticking
glad
with
you
us,
enjoyed it,
Aaron, or you?
we need Aaron's mobile minute. We got one.
I think we do actually. I've been
Okay.
playing some.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
We don't have to quiz you. We don't have to quiz you.
No,
He just
I
has to
didn't
do it in
plan
60
on it.
seconds.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna put a timer.
Start the timer.
Is stopwatch?
Is this specially for Tony Deaf? Is this
Yeah,
one
here,
dedicated to
let's-
the Deafmeister?
Once it hits a minute, you'll be done. All right. So tell me when you're ready.
All right. All right. Give
right.
me a second.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Here, I'll reset. All right. Okay. Tell me when.
All right. I'm ready.
All right.
All right, guys. So the game I've been playing, and I've been playing a lot of this one, is called Marvel Puzzle Quest. It's made by 505 Games and called. I think I can't remember who makes it, but well, that's who makes it, but I can't remember the publisher. But you take on a role of every single Marvel comic book character you can possibly think of, and you just go through stories and all this other stuff that's going on in the game. There's a lot of fun. Whoa, wait a minute, hold on. Someone's hijacking
no,
in.
come on, you've got 30
keep
seconds.
going.
Aaron's
I try.
minute. Come on.
The game itself is multiplayer. You can play against other players, and you go into story modes, and then you just kind of conquer stories as you go. You acquire new characters. You acquire all these other things. It's free to play, but
10
there
seconds,
is a lot
Aaron.
of charges of it. It's a lot of. You can go anywhere between a penny to like $1 to like $100.
3,
It's
2,
getting expensive.
1.
Recommend it. Thumbs up. Go for it.
Nice.
That's kind of not fair because he was a little interrupted.
Yeah, that's fine. What was it called again?
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Okay, Marvel Puzzle Quest.
And that was.
We're
Cool.
trying.
That's Aaron's mobile minute.
That was pretty. That was a solid. That was a solid minute.
pretty
That was a
solid
solid
minute.
minute.
I haven't done one of those in a while. I'm quite rusty.
Yeah.
Nice
I got it.
job.
Oh, we
No,
did it
you-
different. We used
you
to
did
like
great,
quiz
Aaron. You did
you
a
and
great
all
job.
kinds of stuff.
Right.
Well done, Aaron. Well done.
You've
Yeah.
made Tony Deaf very happy.
Yes, and apparently
Yeah.
Ian happy too. I see
Yeah,
you down
Ian
there.
just popped into
Well,
the.
we don't know if this is
vid
Ian.
chat.
This is alleged Ian.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
be Britain, actually.
Could,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe it's Maverick. Actually, if
yeah,
it's
that makes
Maverick,
sense.
awesome.
Goggles, a mask, and a hoodie. You just
Smart
don't
dog.
know.
Maybe,
dog.
maybe it's Dave, and I'm going to rip my face off, and we.
Yeah, no kidding.
Scooby Doo moment here, guys. Scooby Doo
That's
moment.
funny.
So you're going to stay with us, Aaron, or you got?
I'm probably gonna head out. I gotta head out. I work early in the morning. I start like
Yeah.
5, so it's always fun. But I will say my can I do a quick couch optional? But
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
for it.
Go for it.
all right, so my couch optional is this guy called Matt Fife. He's a comic. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called OnlyFans, the comedy special. It is one of the funnier specials I've listened to in a very long time. So check that out.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I got for that. So
Well,
All right,
have a good
guys.
night and safe travels. Enjoy your week.
yeah, you guys too.
Bye,
I'll
Aaron.
talk to you guys later.
Lost
Bye.
Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Bye, guys. Oh, let's plug out. Come on. Come
Hi,
on.
Matt
Look at me.
Milkman, who's going to be silent on the podcast because. I see some Irish deaf making a comeback.
Well, I have one of those left too,
Yeah.
but not tonight.
I just popped on to see if maybe I was the one that drove Aaron off, but he was still on, and then he still left after I got on. So maybe I'm still the reason. Maybe if I didn't get on, he'd still be on, and now I feel bad. I was just looking at 9:30, and I was like 9:38. He can't be on still.
Actually, he was just about to leave before his mobile minute, and I wasn't expecting him to have a mobile minute, but he did. We were just,
it was a solid minute.
We were just doing that. Well, are you joining us, Ian, or you
I mean, Ian's not here, but
Maverick? Yeah,
I can be here for the rest. I can be here for the rest of the.
Well, you probably have some good input on our main topic tonight, which is
I have no idea.
The Nintendo Switch. And
go for it. No, I'm just gonna sit here quietly and drink a beer.
I was basically as the only guy here who doesn't have a Switch. I can't remember. Nick, did you say you had one?
I do.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's technically the pre-wife's, but because it was her Christmas present, but.
I mean,
I'll hijack it every now and again.
Yeah, I was thinking just a kind of beginner's guide to the Switch, because I don't know much about this console, but also like just your general thoughts and feelings about the Switch and what you enjoy about it. And so, my first question for you was: do you all play it mobile, or do you play it on the TV, or what's your main like way of interacting with the Switch? Because obviously, I know you can play it like a big Game Boy. Or you can play it, in the dock on the TV.
Well, actually, is this do we want to go in order where Jared gets to answer first?
Sure.
Well,
yeah,
I'm
let's do that.
Assuming based on our.
I'll go ahead and go. If it's like a bigger game, 3D kind of exploration game, I prefer to play it on my TV. But if it's more like indie 2D side scroller kind of stuff, I like a lot of that stuff. I'll do a lot of that portably because I can just sit on the couch and just hang out while my girls use the TV. Or even if it's slightly more mature or whatever, I can pull it out of the dock and just play it on the couch. So they can't see.
So it's
very situational. So I'd say pretty well balanced, but I prefer playing it on the TV because I can hook up my 8-bit dough and use a PlayStation controller instead of the crappy controllers it comes with.
So on a side note, you all have the one that comes with the dock. No one has the one that's just the light version. That's
the light
handheld only.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I don't know what John has, but
we're all into docking here.
Yeah. We're big on docking.
That's what Aaron and I.
this episode again. Okay.
So what
about you, Nick?
I actually don't like. I really don't like either version. I feel like playing mobile is a little too spread apart. I mean, I guess I'm just more used to like the PlayStation controllers, but I mean, I've played.
Oh, okay.
I've played on with the controllers plugged in, and also just played on the little where you slide the Joy-Cons into like a little actual gamepad to where it's like almost like super condensed.
Yeah, it makes like a small
gamepad.
I've seen that thing.
Yeah, it's like neither one of them really work that well for me. I mean, I'm still able to, I guess, do what I need to do. But like, for example, if I were to play Rocket League on the PS4, I feel like I'm much more comfortable on that versus switching over and playing on the Switch. If I'm going to play it like outside of the dock, it's not as comfortable, and even putting it into the little gamepad, it's also just, I don't know, just they both feel kind of foreign to me. And no, it sounds like I'm just completely shitting on the system here.
No, but the joypad just doesn't feel right.
It's just neither one of them really feel all that great for me. So I mean, for a game like the pre-wife, like when she plays Animal Crossing, I mean, she can go back and forth with no problem. And for a game like that probably works. But I mean, when you're playing like a game like Rocket League, where it's things are happening fast and you need to be like Johnny on the spot. I mean, like comfort is everything. Versus
it's clunky.
Like,
yeah. Yeah, I actually bought a case to put mine in that has like grips and like buttons to actually like
Pro
click on the
controller,
top.
or is that separate?
Not a Pro controller. It's just like a plastic accessory. I click onto it. It's like a protective case, but it has like grips on the back, so it's not awkward.
Yeah,
it's not just the flat shell on the back. So something like that might be worthwhile.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
So I mean, well, just to wrap up, I mean, it kind of depends on the game you're playing, but I mean, like if you're playing a kind of a laissez or something a little bit more relaxed, it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, if something where it's like you need to be in the moment, it's.
So do you play handheld mostly, or do you play on the TV?
I mostly play on the TV, so I'm dealing with the little.
How about the Masked Man of Mystery in the? You don't play it at all, do you?
I think we should just ask
the Switch console is garbage. It's the worst purchase I've ever made. You're playing the same shitty ass games you played for the last 3 decades. Nintendo needs to get fucked.
Okay, negative Ninny.
How do you really feel?
We'll get to that in a bit. But how about you, JPK?
I actually play it more mobile. I'm with Nick. I feel like depending on the type of game you're playing, if you're playing more, because even with Legend, with the Breath of the Wild, I feel like the controls are clunky, and I'd be curious to try it on the Pro controller to see maybe if I had what Nick was saying, like either a PlayStation or an Xbox controller, would my performance be better? But I feel with the button layout and the actual controller itself, it's just really clunky to play Breath of the Wild. I have played other Switch games where I don't notice that as much. I think the other thing is the way Nintendo has done their button layout with Y, A, X, and B, but it's a different layout compared to the Xbox controller, and that gets really confusing as well.
Is it more the old school Japanese layout?
Well, I just wish they labeled it differently. Like, I don't know why they went with alphabet layout. I wish they went with, like, it could have been Japanese characters, and I would have been fine with that. I just need something more discerning rather than an alphabet layout. Meanwhile, Microsoft has already done the alphabet layout, which is what I'm used to. But the layout is different, of course.
And you guys are all playing the original IPS version, or you got the OELD thing?
IPS.
Yeah.
Original bullshit version that can't do jack shit because it runs like snot.
Yeah. We'll get to Ian's, because like one of my questions was going to be, another question was going to be what do you really like about the system? What does it do well or better than Xbox or PlayStation, do you feel, if anything? Jared?
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah.
What keeps you coming back?
Somebody else start. Yeah, what keeps me... nothing has really been... Sorry. I was kind of focusing on Ian there, just being his...
Yeah. I mean, it still continues the trend of appealing to the more casual gamer. Like even like when I bought Switch Sports, kind of almost a year ago. It was kind of still more of the same of like buying Wii Sports, but at the same point, you also had a new gimmick of being able to take one of the Joy-Cons and strapping it to your leg, and now it kind of opened up a new realm of playing like football or soccer.
Can you define more of what casual gamer means to you, Nick?
Somebody who... My parents.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just basically somebody who, who doesn't necessarily need to know a lot about gaming, who can just kind of like pick it up and like they can basically start from zero and still have fun playing it. Versus like, I mean, I'm not gonna have my dad grab my PS5 and start playing God of War, because he's not gonna have he's not gonna have like the whole litany of like muscle memory, like familiarity with controls, and like, I mean, I could pick up that game and not know the backstory, but I can still jump in and
low impact gaming is what you're.
I like that term. Yes, this is a very nice term.
I just
have
a vision of Nick with Joy-Cons like strapped to all his extremities, jumping around.
Yeah, Dance Central, baby.
Dance Nick, baby.
Yeah, but it's just basically, it's like I guess low impact gaming. I guess there's kind of like a low bar for like. I mean, that's basically what the Wii was. It's like a gaming system that you could get your grandma to play and have fun with. And the fact that, I mean, you also have the whole point of like actual motion and stuff, which kind of appealed to people who wanted to I don't know, maybe back in the day, I mean, this is probably the days before like Fitbit, but like people with like little step counters or whatever, it probably appealed to them too, to sit here and play Wii tennis and throw out an elbow or something.
Yeah. How about you, JPK? What's your favorite thing about it? Or that keeps you coming back?
I mean, I really, I don't have a favorite.
Wow.
My problem with the Switch is just if you go on their gaming marketplace, it's just kind of a shit show. If you want to play,
never have sales. I know that.
Yeah, I mean they do have sales, but the
it's
sales
just not on Nintendo stuff
it.
very often. They do have a bunch of Nintendo stuff on sale right now for like $40, $45
instead of 50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's about as low as that will get.
10%, awesome. That what a sale. And then even with their, they're trying to do the Xbox Game Pass and PS Library, but it's just, in my opinion, I think it's a failure because it's just overpriced. Like the N64 library, if you look at it, it's laughable and it's expensive for what you get.
Well, I was going to get onto that in the next bit. But because I was going to ask you about like the online experience and especially like the Nintendo expansion pack, if any of you had that with the Sega Genesis and the other games that.
I just learned that's the only way to get the Game Boy Advance games is with the expansion pass. No. $35 a month or a year.
Come on!
No, it's $35 a year.
It's $50 a year.
Okay.
That's just for
their
one
whole
user.
Library, or
but so the catch here is if you have a multifamily dwelling like we do, you have to buy like the more expensive family pass for anybody else to access that on their user profile on the Switch. Whereas like Xbox, it's not that much more, but it's not twice the cost.
I thought the expansion
pretty close.
Was 50 because it used to be 20 to get online, didn't it? And now it's like 50 to get online.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact cost, but it is a more expensive tier.
And you can play. And they basically give you the Mario Kart games from the N64 and a few other games that you can play online.
Yeah, but like Sony and Microsoft both have like if you have your main user or whatever on your PlayStation with the online service subscription, the whole family gets to use it in the house, whatever's on your system. And it's annoying. Like I've never actually played an online game on the Switch. I never have. Because I had 1 year, I think I got Nintendo subscription for free from Amazon Prime. And even then, I barely used the like Super Nintendo stuff. I think I beat a game on NES.
Their gaming library is garbage.
It hasn't grown that great. I mean, they have some of the basics on there that everybody likes on Super Nintendo, NES. But there's a lot of stuff like nobody's heard of.
So what you're saying is you don't buy a Switch for the online gameplay?
No. Unless you're into like Splatoon as a big game, Mario Kart Online, Smash Brothers Online. They have a lot of multiplayer
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing, which is the worst multiplayer experience ever.
They have
Really?
the worst.
How come?
They have the worst Wi-Fi card in existence inside the Switch. Also, I just want to point that out.
So Nick, you're curious about the Animal Crossing online. So
Yeah,
if you
I
open
never
your
played, but-
island to have your friends join you online, you can, invite them and they'll come. And there's a whole segment of them showing up on an airplane, loading screen, and you finally get in there like a couple minutes later. And then, hey, another friend shows up, and a whole segment again. And it does that if they're leaving. And it takes forever. It sucks. I did that with one person, and I was infuriated by the end of that. And I watched somebody on YouTube just like invite a full party of people into their island. I think you can have up to like 6 or something like that on the island. It was just
so there were 6
annoying.
separate cutscenes?
Yes.
6 separate.
Every person that shows up, it's the slow loading screen with the airplane going by, and it's so stupid.
So you could be in the middle of playing and doing stuff like digging for crap, or I never really paid that close attention whatever Brandy was doing, but you could be in the middle of something, but then as soon as somebody shows up, it like stops gameplay, and then you get to watch that whole cutscene of them. Oh, how obnoxious!
It's not just the person that's going there; it's loading them. And then they just pop up on your island. It's everybody is involved in this loading screen, connecting.
Oh, wow.
Nintendo is so bad at the internet. I think they kind of almost have an idea of what the internet is.
It's a bunch of
maybe in the next console they'll figure out the internet.
So Reggie's body is ready, but the hardware wasn't.
Yeah.
So in the kind of related question, I don't know about this, but A, how many games do you own? And B, when you get a cartridge, like I suppose physical games I'm talking about in the box, but when you get a cartridge like that, do you have the PlayStation 4 update wait where you put the cartridge in and then it's got to download 5 updates? Or because most of the games are single player, or not single player, but the online's so shit that there's no update.
There are content updates and stuff like that, but they're not gigantic 100 gigabyte files.
Yeah, when you've only got 32
as an example,
storage.
That's because the games aren't even that big.
Yeah, I was gonna play Destiny 2 with my brother on the PS4 out here in the garage, and I like started the game, and it's like it started downloading 3 content packs for a total like 72 gigabytes because I hadn't played it out here for a while.
Typical
and
Destiny.
it's my garage, so the download speed's not like crazy. It's going to take like 5-6 hours to download. I'm like, I'm just gonna unplug everything and bring my PS5 out here.
So how many physical games do you actually own for the system?
I probably have like 10.
Nick?
Something like that.
Oh, sorry, you were just about to sip a beer.
Well, it was overflowing, but I probably have somewhere in that vicinity.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's shared between. Well, I guess I'm the one that bought most of the games. She only bought Animal Crossing, and it's technically her system. But
so Ian has
I have a few games.
How about you, JPK?
I have 0 physical copies. It's all digital.
You gone digital all the way on it?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of
digital
games then, or do you just only have like 2 or 3 digital games?
I'm pretty much I'm the antithesis of you, Dave. I'm all digital, baby. That's how I prefer it. The only time I've bought a physical copy is for my brother-in-law. We bought Mario Party for him. My fiance and I bought Mario Party for him, but that's the only physical copies we've ever gotten.
Nice. So I was going to ask a question, and I'll still ask it, but I think you might. What's the worst thing about this system? But it sounds like there's a lot of options from the bitching and moaning you've had.
The worst thing is, let's see, the controller.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's where you're going with.
I could see that.
I don't like playing the handheld version without some form of accessory. And when I'm playing it on my TV, I have to have a different controller.
Oh wow!
I don't like the Joy-Cons at all.
No, I've not played it much with the Joy-Cons, but
well, keep in mind, good. I play. Yeah. Well, keep in mind, I play a lot of indie games that you kind of need to use the D-pad to get around. That's like where you move left, right, up, down, stuff like that. Because playing a 2D game with a joystick feels super weird, I think. Yeah. So trying to use that D-pad, which is 4 separate buttons instead of like a rolling plus, like most consoles, as an example of a really good controller, a plus. It's not 4 separate buttons.
Yeah, most people have figured out how to make a somewhat playable controller by now, and the Joy-Con feels like a step back to the 90s.
PlayStation has 4 separate buttons, but they're contoured in a way where it feels like one when you're using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely the controller is my least favorite part of the system.
How about you, Nick?
I'm with Jared. Like, even though he vehemently hated the online part of Animal Crossing, but no, I'll agree with the controller because that's where I've had the most trouble. Just kind of feeling comfortable.
Yeah, the
like
interface,
even
basically, yeah.
Well, yeah, like even sitting on the couch with it or just sitting with the controller, it's like it's either too far apart or too close together. I need kind of like something like somewhere in the middle.
It always strikes me as being like a 90s video game controller. You know how they were always like pointy edges, and a lot of those weird controllers like the Jaguar and that just didn't feel good.
And you know what I've kind of noticed, like, and this isn't really a Switch thing, but this is kind of more, like I noticed, like playing Mega Man 9 and 10. Like I had Mega Man 9 on my Wii and Mega Man 10 on my PS3. So Mega Man, like when I play on the NES, there's a lot of things where it's like the timing of like some of the button combinations or whatever that you do. It's very like split second. It needs to be very precise, and it worked well on a wired controller. But when you start going to like kind of the Bluetooth wireless stuff, and you have just like that very split second noticeable lag, I was struggling with a lot of stuff like that. With those games, and I kind of feel like some of these newer systems I kind of struggle with that aspect of it, but like especially with like the Switch, because actually one of the games that I bought digitally is River City Ransom, the 8-bit Nintendo game that I used to love so much, but when I'm playing on the Switch, there is a little bit of that. I have a little bit of an issue with that, where back in the day, where it was a direct wired connection, where like the inputs were received immediately, versus doing kind of like some wireless Bluetooth thing where there's just that split second lag, where it's just I kind of need to like adjust to that. That. Also a little bit of a source of frustration.
So Ian, JPK, what are your least favorite things about this system? I think Ian's the system in
the whole system. Yeah.
Ian's just Ian would throw the system.
My problem with the system is the fucking fans.
Yeah, mine buzzes.
No, not the fans, like the fans. Like the fans as the fucking people that love Nintendo. They fucking propagate these shitty games that we've played 1,000 times and we can't get new IPs. They just keep showing us the same shit. And let's play the same game we played 20 years ago. Good job, fans. You fuckers. Suck a dick.
Yeah, as a non-Nintendo fanboy, I think the only Nintendo kind of new IP that's even got on my radar is Splatoon, and that's been around for 10 plus years now, I'm sure,
since the Wii U.
Yeah. So anyway, JPK, what's your least favorite thing about this system?
This may not be a reflection of the system. I think it's just the pricing in general for Nintendo. It's harder to get into Switch games when Nintendo wants to fully price every single game that has come out for the Switch, and they don't want to do deals. And for me, being more of a budget gamer these days, like, I mean, I bought Breath of the Wild at $60. I knew it was going to be $60. Got it anyways. But if I had to buy Tears of the Wild, like, or not Tears of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, that's why I'm not going to buy it anytime soon. Because one, I only play Breath of the Wild when I go on holiday. So anytime it's Christmas and I'm traveling, then I'll play Breath of the Wild. So for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not going to play it that often. I'm only going to play it when I'm traveling. And then two, the idea of paying $70 for a brand new video game at this point, compared to what we're used to seeing on PSN or Xbox, why would you buy on Switch? You're losing money if you buy on Switch. I mean, granted, if it's a multi-platform game, you're definitely not going to buy on Switch. But even if it's a Switch exclusive, you'll probably pay full price 5 years from now. But at least if you really want to play it, you know that going into the game.
Yeah, Nintendo's always done that.
This is the first generation I can think of with Nintendo that they haven't released like their greatest hits series or whatever, like budget titles. Like they always have their line of like the top hits. You know, they've been around for many years and they released that budget line, but they still have not done that. And how long has the system been out now? What, 2013 or something like that?
No, it only came out in
when did
17.
it come out? 17. Yeah, so I mean that's been a long while. That's long enough to do a budget line.
So 6 years.
Like I should be able to buy that Yoshi's Island game for a decent price, not full price. I want the Yoshi's Island
serious?
game. I'm just not going to pay $50 for it. It's $60. Yeah,
but Nintendo's
it's
always
still not come down.
I mean, on the N64.
All of the Pokemon games that have come out for it, full price still. Every single one. They've Pokemon Go, Eevee, Pikachu version. Those came out like at launch, and they're still $60.
But that's
and just to compare it, how much would say God of War, the 2018 version that came out for PS4? How much could you get that for
on sale
right now?
For like $20.
Less than $20.
Yeah.
And is there
free
kind of like a
or free?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, to close up this subject, so after talking to you all, my final question was going to be, why would you buy a Nintendo Switch in 2023, and when do you think the next generation is going to come out? But actually,
get a fucking Steam Deck. Just buy a Steam Deck.
Let me finish my question.
All
My question, I figured scrap those questions from your answers to the previous questions. My question is, why the hell do you all own one of these things, as considering you've all bitched about it for half an hour? And when I asked you what was the best thing about the console, you were all kind of like, I mean, so why do you own one of these? Why would someone...
So I'll go first. I'll go first just for... I bought it for Bayonetta 3, and Bayonetta 3 was ultimately a letdown.
Wasn't it also really delayed?
So fuck this system. No, it wasn't that delayed. It just was not as good game. So anyway, that's my reasoning.
I bought it for the hype of Metroid Prime 4, which still has not seen like a launch trailer. But I've been playing a lot of indies and stuff like that on it, and that's what I love playing on it is like Shantae games. Blaster Master, a lot of 2D side-scrolling stuff. I played the Ori and the Blind Forest and all that kind of stuff, like Microsoft games on it, 2D platformers, and which are great. I love that style of game with that screen. It looks really good, and they play well enough really enjoy the system. I own several Nintendo games. I do love Nintendo games overall. Mario, I love that stuff. Mario Kart, I play a lot of stuff with my kids. Kirby, I've been playing with my youngest. My oldest has been enjoying Pokemon Arceus. It's a big system in the family. It's really good for families.
If it had Vampire Survivors, I'd be good.
I would buy Vampire Survivors again if it was on the Switch.
How about you, Nick? Why do you own one?
I actually bought it as a Christmas gift for the pre-wife because she saw some of her coworkers playing Mario Kart 8 and she really wanted it. So I got it for her. I'm a big fan of the Mario Kart series, so I was on board with that. And playing
still
it on
never
there,
played it with anybody.
Well, maybe if we pay $50, we can play online.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that would be terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, playing. I mean, it's actually a good co-op game. I mean, we play with each other. The 14-year-old will jump in. We'll play with her. It's actually a good kind of like a couch co-op multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But I eventually kind of grew to. I mean, I still like the system. I like when Kirby came out. I had a lot of fun playing that game. I mean, as much as I bitched about the controllers, I mean, I still had a lot of fun playing that game. That was a fun little discovery.
But the button configuration's so backwards. It feels
so
weird to play it because the button configuration's so dumb.
It is,
and you can't change it.
Especially when you inhale like a vehicle and you're trying to drive around. It's like I only drove off the cliff like 300 times,
Yeah.
But I mean, still had a lot of fun with Kirby. There's still a lot of fun games to have. Like even like I didn't get into Animal Crossing at all. Pre-wife did, and she was playing like, and maybe it was just the timing of it with. When we got it, it was like right at the start of the pandemic. She was on that thing like constantly for probably a good year, just playing that game.
That's the game my daughter has the most time in.
She was way into that game. I mean, it's gotten to the point. I mean, she doesn't play it as much now. I mean, she sporadically checks in on her island, and she's like, "Oh wow, it's overgrown in weeds," which is kind of funny. And kind of cool at the same point that they would actually put that level of effort in the game.
Your house will get cockroaches in it if you don't go there often enough.
Yeah, I mean that's
key for the 2020.
That's just kind of silly fun. I mean I mean it's great that they put that level of attention to detail into something like that, to where if you don't check in on something, then you get weeds and cockroaches. So I mean that's kind of fun. But and as much as I was kind of not as impressed with it as I wanted to be. Switch Sports. I guess I wanted a lot more from it, other than it just felt kind of like a basic upgrade from Wii Sports from way back in the day. But it was kind of nice that they added the whole. Sorry, you didn't see me do a kicking motion because the soccer / football thing that they kind of threw in there. But I don't know. That was kind of a fun little add-on. I just kind of wish they would have done more with that. But anyway, little unorganized stream of consciousness with.
So JPK, how about you?
I didn't buy it. My fiance bought it.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's my excuse.
Go fiance.
So do we?
It sounds like Freeance.
So I do think there's a couple of things about Nintendo, just in closing, that I find really interesting. One is that the price of the system hasn't been reduced. like since it came out.
For real?
Yeah.
It's still
No
$300.
way.
So
Well,
they've
I still can't afford
on.
a 3DS, Dave.
So wait. So they have an OLED version, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
$400.
OLED, if you will.
You can-
350, I think.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, Jesus Christ! My goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I get from talking to you is that Nintendo still hasn't fucking figured out online multiplayer
No, not at all.
Yeah.
and doesn't show any signs of doing it. So it'll be interesting to see what Nintendo's next system will look like, because it's been a long time.
They still
since
use
were
friend
cutting edge.
codes. You can't pick like a user ID. It's friend codes.
Ugh.
Still,
Dude, they did friend codes back on the
Numbers.
Wii with like Mario
was
Kart back
bad.
then.
Yeah,
It was shit back then.
it was so bad back then. It hasn't changed much.
I mean,
since
I loved
then.
Mario Kart on the
You
Wii,
can't
but God, that was
do
a pain in
voice
the
chat
ass.
on the Switch. You have to use an app on your phone to do voice chat.
Yeah. So what you're saying is if they're trying to charge $50 a year for the access, it's really
20.
not.
But the N64 portion is extra, Dave. That's the other
It
thing
is
about
extra.
that
Well,
pass.
well, that's what I mean. I think it was 50 if you include the
Yes.
expansion and the online. But I thought they were getting rid of the $20 tier and just doing the 50.
I bet they'd love to.
I mean, and it's just like, yeah, my reading was that they were getting rid of the they were trying to sell you on the value proposition of all these free games that you get.
Well, so if you buy like the bigger pass, it comes with the expansion passes that the games have come with, like Mario Kart, I think, and Animal Crossing, and things like that. And you also get like the top tier Retrocade. I don't know what they even call their online games, like the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo 64 stuff, the top tier stuff. You have to pay extra for all that stuff. So yeah, they're not getting my money. My daughter keeps begging me to get the online thing. I'm like, why? There's nothing that you'd play online. No.
So is there a game or series that's Nintendo exclusive that would make you buy the Nintendo Switch 2, like the next generation, whenever that comes out? Does Nintendo have anything powerful enough to make you buy new hardware if it can only play it on Nintendo hardware? Is Mario done? Is Zelda done?
No.
Is
No.
Kirby? I mean,
So actually,
No.
was there actually an actual Mario game that was specific to the Switch? Because
Mario
I've
Odyssey.
got
Great game, by the way.
Mario
You should
Odyssey
play it.
was a Wii U game, Jared. Get
wasn't
fucked.
that
No,
a
it
Wii
wasn't.
game?
No, Mario Odyssey was not on the Wii U.
I thought it was
Yeah,
on the Wii.
there's not been a brand new Mario game.
No, Mario
Switch.
Odyssey was not on the Wii U. No, Mario
Odyssey?
Odyssey was, yeah.
Everyone on Kind of Funny says there's not been a new.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey.
Yep, he's right. It was only for.
Yeah,
It
that's
was a release title. For
and
the
it's a great
Switch,
game. It's fantastic.
But
all right.
Yeah.
Because the Mario game that I got for the Switch was the sequel to the Mario. There was a Mario game that came out in 2009 for the Nintendo Wii where you could actually play 4-player. I can't think of the name.
Like Mario's. No, it's the Super 3D Mario. They have so many dumb naming conventions.
Yeah,
Mario
no, but
3D U or some garbage like that.
yeah,
no,
The
it was
one
a
with the
super
cat
fun.
suit, or like the 2D one. Those
No,
were
it was a
both Wii
2D.
U
It
games.
was a 2D. It was a 2D game.
Yeah,
Because it came in like a red case for the Wii.
yeah.
that one was a lot of fun. It just felt kind of like an updated version of Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3.
Well,
did you try playing with more than 2 people on that?
Oh, I brought it to your apartment and we tried to play 4-player.
It's so bad.
It was a mess. It was a complete fucking mess.
What a disaster!
Anyway,
it was because everybody tried to do their own thing, and like other people were like killing each other. It was
pushing each other off of cliffs, and what a nightmare.
Should we close this topic out in the only way that this topic should be closed out, which is let's rate it like a beer. Nintendo Switch, thumbs up, middle, thumbs down. I'm not going to rate it because I don't own one, but you four can have at it.
I'll give it right here. I like it enough.
I like it.
Oh wow!
Because
2 chubs out of 4.
I love what I've gotten out of the Switch because I've played a lot of really great indie games on it that I never would have played before.
Can you recommend some, Jared?
Any of the Shantae series.
So why wouldn't you just get a Steam Deck and play all those games on Steam?
Because it costs like $500 whatever dollars. I'd rather just
you can play Shantae on
5.
PS4 or Xbox. That's bullshit.
But that's where I played it. Is on the Switch. I love playing 2D platformers and stuff because I can just pull it out of the dock and sit on my couch while my girls use the TV. So yeah, it's a convenience factor.
Well, anyway, thanks guys for answering all my stupid questions about the Switch because it is something that I know is out there, but I have no experience with, and you know.
Are you gonna get one?
Nope.
No, he's not.
No, the only thing speaking personally, the only thing I like about the Switch is the abundance of physical media for it. Like that you can buy most of the games on physical media, but that's just me, and that's the way I like things. So, but by the sound of it, it's not like, you know, I've seen the ports of games from the PlayStation 4, and they just look like crap compared to the, you know, the full fat version.
Is there any Nintendo exclusives that like
interest you at all? Mario's not been a thing that would appeal to me for a long time, and Zelda's never appealed to me. So Splatoon is a game that I find fun, but it's kind of on the same level of Fortnite. You know, I'll play it if it's there.
Arms, Dave, arms. You can punch things from really far away.
Yeah, I know.
So you're not a Kirby fan either, or Animal Crossing?
I like Kirby, but I'm not going to buy a console to play that game. To be quite honest, if I need a Kirby fix, I've got a Nintendo, and I've got Kirby, and I've got a Game Boy. I've got all the Wario games for the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance.
My daughter's hooked on Pokemon now,
I just don't feel
I'm just done for.
The fifth reissue of the game that's the same as the ones I've been playing for the
last. Oh, come on. I think there's a Kirby Deluxe out now.
Oh, yeah.
You can pay another $50 for.
I think the thing...
well, it's just basically just an upgrade from the release from last year.
I think the thing about a lot of these games is, like, if I was 10 years old, I'd love that game, but I've played variations of that game for the last 30 years. It's like, it's a little old now. I need something new to really catch my attention, and to be quite honest, I don't really want to play Mario anymore. It's like, you know, it was fun, and I can see why people like it. It's just, I'm just done with it, you know. It's not that new, and it's not that fun, and that's the problem I have with a lot of Nintendo IPs. I mean, I just feel like they kind of coast along on a lot of old properties, and they haven't really innovated much.
Yeah.
They try and innovate in the hardware, but they really game-wise they don't. I mean, even Pokemon, that's been around 20 plus years now. So.
Oh, and Nick, that re-release of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is a $60 title.
Oh, good! I can't wait.
It's a re-release, remaster of a game from
that just came out last year.
I think it's almost out. It's just about to come out for $60.
No.
Brand new.
Well, I could have swore they also came out with like a deluxe edition of the Kirby game that just came out last year too.
Forgotten Land? No, there's no new editions of that.
Well,
But
they're
Walmart has
mistaken.
that for $51.60.
Now we've all
Oh, good. I'll run out to get that.
now we've all bitched
Even
about
though I already have
Nintendo.
it.
Does anyone have any couch co-optionals to cleanse the palate after playing the Switch?
Ah, jeez. No, I mean, I guess the thing that I've been getting the most use out of these days is my sound bar. I have a sound bar that has HDMI input and output. So, like, my computer and my PlayStation 4 are going through that with a HDMI switch. So it's really nice to be able to just.
So what you're saying is play PC games and PlayStation 4 games.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, as long as you have, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, this soundbar has been really great. Samsung soundbar. Cheers.
How about you, Nick? Any co-optionals? TV? video
Well,
games,
first of
books?
all, I'm going to do neither of that. But how many of you actually have push to start vehicles
Nope.
as opposed to like key as opposed to an actual key?
Oh, like a button.
Right. Yeah.
You,
Push
you
button
have that,
start.
Ian. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I thought you were talking about like an old 70s fucking car that you have to
Oh,
push
no.
down a
Milkman.
hill.
There's no E in here. It's just Milkman.
No. If you have a key fob versus an actual key to start your vehicle, so I got scared into this because pre-wife showed me a video of masked thieves who kind of walk out. I mean, they kind of work in a team where one person is kind of hanging out by the vehicle, the other person kind of just walks up to the house. They have some sort of deal that they just like it acts like an extender to your fob to start your vehicle, and that's kind of how kind of thefts of those vehicles are happening these days. But I found on Amazon there's a Faraday bag. It's kind of like a goldish line bag that you can just drop your fob into. And you can buy like a 2-pack. They're like $10 on Amazon, and I got a couple of them, and they actually work really well. I've actually just to like test it out. I like dropped my little fob in and tried to like walk up to my 4Runner and open the door, and it wouldn't unlock because it didn't detect it. And then I pulled it out and got in, and then put it back in. And sure enough,
Any idea what materials they use?
Here's one for you, Nick.
I have no idea, but I mean, it acts like an RFID blocker, so it.
Try this next time.
I mean, it's
Walk
cheap.
away from your car, you click the beeper, and then put it on your head and click the beeper. Yeah, it extends the range. I shit you not. I don't know why it works, but it's freaking crazy. So you're walking out of range.
They tested it on not Grand Tour, Top Gear. What Dave's talking about, Top Gear did it.
Yeah, just next time you're in the car park, you just keep beeping your car until it stops beeping. Then just go like that, put it on your on your skull and click it, and it'll beep.
That's funny.
It's real
That's
strange.
Good.
Anyway,
I'm sure that'll give me cancer real quick. All right.
Sweet.
It's a low power radio. It's not putting that much power.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
FCC
great.
said it's okay.
If you're worried about that, just get one of those cages for your head. It also helps with the aliens, you know.
Yeah, get that aluminum cone on.
If you're worried about it, don't live in Canby.
I won't.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the brain in Canby. It's the anal probes.
Believe me, there's a lot of anal people in Canby. What? John knows.
Anyway, JPK, any couch co-optionals?
A Mexican alternative band I've been listening to for years called Ray Pila, which is Spanish for King Battery. They are more reminiscent of 80s bands like The Cure. I know The Cure is one of their big references or inspirations.
Influences.
But yeah, I I love them. Like
What was
their
the name
first
again?
album.
You'll have to throw your favorite song in the Discord chat.
Ray Pila. My favorite song is "Come Over" from one of their EPs, and they're constantly putting out. I mean, for a band, they put out a lot of content because they kind of space their full albums with EPs, which I like because at least they're still there. It seems like they're constantly putting out content and not just waiting for a full album to come out. And then their first album is done more in Spanish, but then they it's more of a trend in Mexico that they do more English lyrics instead of Spanish, just so they can get more accessibility to, I'm assuming, American audiences. But yeah, they're great. I love them.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. How about the Milkman?
Come on over, babe. And no,
yeah, it's not that. It's not that.
It's totally what that is. That's the Mexican Bad John's. Come. Anyway, so having fresh come off of this, if you're a band and you're looking to record in the Portland, Oregon area, I highly recommend Jackpot Recordings. It's like $600 for 10 hours.
New bands.
Oh wow!
And you come in, you have your songs, you record them. I'm gonna recommend you the engineer Justin, dude, super cool, and Exquisite was just there. I'm gonna recommend that. We were incredibly happy with what he did, and so Jackpot Recordings, Oregon. If you're ever in the area, Elliott Smith helped build this studio. Nice. A lot of his gear is there, so if you're a big fan of Elliott Smith, but sounds good. A lot of just really solid place.
So I would like you to plug what you were recording this music for.
Oh, Jared would like to. So I'm with a band called Exquisite Taste of Plain Water. You can go to etpw.band and check all of that shit out. But that's old shit. We have a new album coming out. And so etpw.band, BAND, instead of .com, BAND, and you can check out the music. But that's old shit, and we got new shit coming. So
great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. Well, I've been watching Killing Eve on Hulu and enjoying it, so I recommend that if you like that kind of twisty-turny spy assassin drama. It's good fun.
Killing Eve?
Yep. Yeah, it's got Sandra Oh, and she works for MI5 or MI6, one of those two.
And Lawrence Pugh, whoever speaks, she's like the new Black Widow, basically.
Yeah, basically.
She's the Marvel
assassin.
She's a badass.
Yeah,
she's funny
cool
as fuck.
So that was really cool. Well, anyway, listeners, thank you for joining us tonight or today or this morning, whenever you're listening. And it's nice to have
Thanks
you.
for hosting, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, guest host.
You can leave a message on any of the services.
Permanent host. Let's vote.
Anchor.fm. Leave them at
Anchor.fm, if I can get the words out in the right order. And as our friend Aaron always says, it's couch co-op with no hyphen. If you want to find us on most of the alphabet services and all the rest, all those platforms. And we'll see you next week. I think this is episode 301, isn't it? Man, time flies when you're having fun.